Yeah. Okay. So thank you everyone for coming in physically, and also thanks for those people who joined the show. So today I'm very delighted to announce the introduction of the True Good to the public.
Speaker brother,
So can everybody hear me? Hello. So True Good started in 2018, and the same founder, of course, a lot of you are familiar, even with the people who joined June. Also must be familiar about Adolari. So after Adolari, we started True Good in 2018. True Good was founded on three basic fundamentals, which is to do with taste, affordability, and as well as the nutrition. So if you really consider India, so most of the Indian kirana stores are filled with a lot of snack items, which are in the 5 rupee category. But however, if you really take them and eat them, they are very tasty. But nevertheless, when you go and flip them on the back of the pack, so there are a lot of fat content, there is a lot of cholesterol, and most of them are deep oil fried and not necessarily very healthy. So India, in terms of the 5 rupee, 10 rupee category, India has an extraordinary, probably $1 trillion or $1 trillion market that India just at the kirana store level in terms of the food, snacks, that segment, specifically that segment. So True Good, when I started True Good, the basic, the foundational blocks are that we definitely wanted to give the affordable items to the Indian masses. Affordable means especially the 5 rupee and 10 rupee category. And within the 5 rupee, 10 rupee category, we just ideated how to induce the nutrition in that 5 rupee, 10 rupee category. So that was the original idea of how we started Focus. And then we initially began with millet-based grains, predominantly used in our products. So we started with producing millet-based chapatis initially in 2018, and then started the journey, supplying to some of these hotels as well as restaurants, and also some of the IT companies, and then outbound flights, sky kitchens. So we have started with the millet-based chapatis and millet-based parathas as a starting point. And invariably, what we done was, we really have seen a lot of traction. When we gave it to these IT offices, these millet-based parathas, we got a great traction. So as we progressed in the journey, we introduced many other items too, which are primarily millet-based. And we then found the flagship product, which is actually the millet-based chickpea. So chickpea is known to us all the way from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, length and breadth of India. Chickpea is one item that everybody knows and everybody consumes. So that is a very known dessert or sweet to, I think, 90% Indians, all the way from kids to senior citizens. Everybody knows the chickpea. So our idea is that we don't want to become too unknown to people by introducing some bars or some healthy bars which are too far-fetched for Indian masses. So we wanted to introduce the known product with additional nutrition factor. If you really see the peanut chickpea, like peanut candy or palli candy that we call, you can see that in most of the kirana stores, which are generally available in these jars, like you keep it in the jars, and people keep their hands and then take the chickpea, pay 5 rupee. So that is mostly the experience of the chickpea for us. That is how we have all been eating chickpea. So if you really look at that, the mom and pop like kirana store based chickpea, so 90% of that is a sugar based, and the remaining 10%, 15% is a some chemicalized liquid glucose, otherwise we call it as liquid glucose. So, but predominantly it is sugar-based peanut chickpea that we eat most of the times. And also those are not packed in the right way. So when we keep the hands inside the jar, they tend to get, the contamination. So what we have done was, we introduced a very nice packing, like an international standard packing for the 5 rupee chicken. We put a lot of attention in terms of how the Indian consumers are eating chicken. So then we introduced the millets into that same chicken. So if you compare the regular chicken, peanut chicken with our millet chicken, so 2 to 2, for example, in the protein, so peanut chickpea has about 10 to 12 grams of protein, and millet chickpea has our whatever we have introduced, that millet chickpea has 16 to 17 grams of protein. Thereby almost about 40-50% higher protein from the regular chickpea to this chickpea. And then if you compare the fiber and as well as the calcium, from almost they being insignificant in the peanut chickpea to become very abundantly significant in our millet. So if you compare that 5 rupee versus this 5 rupee, there is not much of a difference in terms of the costing. But if you compare the nutrition, there is a huge sea change in terms of what we offer at the same price point. So we started introducing this millet chickpea part of the snacks for the school children. We started with about 50-80 schools in 2018 and within no time, probably about 6 months to 8 months time frame, we were able to sell the same chickpea in nearly 1,500 schools, 12 to 1,500 schools, starting with nearly about 1,500 students to have been selling that to approximately about 3 to 4 lakh children per day. And then that movement, we never turned back from that onwards, from the journey onwards. So this December 2018, we introduced the flagship millet chickpea product. I think it's a world's first, most nutritious chickpea that you can ever even think of. And in terms of the unique formulations and methodology, we are the first company to have introduced a significantly unique millet chickpea into the market. So, and then we started penetrating further into schools by 2019, and we have almost captured nearly 10,000 schools, and then we're selling a million chickpeas per day. So that is a story that we were able to unleash in a very less span of time. And 2018, when we began the journey, Shashi Reddy and then Hari Rao invested close to $1 million in us. And then we moved forward with the same capital, and then we set up about 3 factories, 2 in Hyderabad and 1 in Rajahmundry. And predominantly our major share is taken by millet chickpea, while of course we have few other items that we are selling, but predominantly the millet chickpea has been our flagship product. So next few months or next few years, so for primarily this announcement is that it's twofold. One is where we are taking investment. We are really being a Hyderabad brand. We are really proud to have partnered with Oaks, and then I have Kenneth speak about Oaks as well. But we are very, very proud that the international funds, private equity funds, are very deeply looking into Hyderabad-based market as well. And then from growing like a small company selling probably about 500 to 800 chapatis to snacks, to have grown right now to selling nearly more than 1 million products per day. Our journey has been very inspiring, and of course we have put in a lot of hard work in terms of conceptualizing the new products. But now the first and foremost is that I'm really delighted to take about 55 crores fund. It translates into $7.4 million from Oaks Asset Management, Oaks Capital otherwise. And what really made us, what really makes me feel very strong is that they have done almost about 6 months of diligence about our company, which essentially means they have spoken with the children, they have spoken with the principals, they went and surveyed the market, they have done their own assessment in terms of what is the overall size of the market for the chickpea and for the other products that they are selling. And they have done their own diligence for 6 months, and they really found this company to be foundationally strong. And because they have seen us operating at a different scale, operating at a very higher scale, and they have seen us, and they also measured in terms of how we achieve the scale in less than 2 years time frame. We set up 3 factories and templatized the factories, and how we scaled up the infrastructure, the very, very minimum capital. And TrueGood is perhaps, I think, one of the very, very, very great startups in India or across the world to have been profitable from the day one. We never lost money, though COVID really hit us bad, but we quickly recovered. I think we are very, very strongly, deeply rooted financially. That means we're very conscious of fundamentally becoming very strong, and at the same time we are selling the nutritious products to the masses. So that we are very delighted that Oaks is coming and investing in us about close to $7.5 million. And the second other important factor, part of this announcement is that, so we are now going to be expanding very rapidly. Of course, we expanded rapidly in the last 3 years. Now our expansion will be multifold. At this moment, we are present in 4 states. One is Andhra Pradesh. We are deeply present in almost we monopolize the entire Andhra Pradesh state. If you really look at Andhra Pradesh, we are serving in nearly 1,500 to 2,000 locations and selling chickpeas in nearly 10,000 plus schools. And we are further deeply penetrating into Andhra Pradesh, and we are now getting the same reception in Telangana state as well. So we just put our foot in Haryana state, and also Chhattisgarh is the next state that we are entering into. So these are the 4 states predominantly going to be thickly present, and then we will rapidly expand into other neighboring states as well, which is Maharashtra, as well as your neighboring state, which is Orissa. So these are states that we will be opening, and we are going to be opening a few more factories in each of the states that we are opening. Our model states that we are not like only one factory, like a gigantic factory in one space and then start delivering until Kashmir or to Kanyakumari. That is not a model that we have been conceptualizing. What we are trying to do is that we would like to set up small pilot kitchens, pilot factories, like a small satellite factories, where we already templatized the factory in Hyderabad. That is absolutely templatized, which essentially means all the operations are very robust, and that template can be replicated across the states. So that is something that I found that Oaks also was really interested in how we are operating almost autopilot. If you think about me going to factory, almost not even 3 months once I go to factory, but they are running very seamlessly. In Rajahmundry we opened another factory just to really see if this factory runs on its own, because not necessarily proprietors are always present. When you want to scale, the proprietor or the promoter or the founder need not be present in all the factories. So we built that model. Now using the same model, we are going to be expanding across India. So that is one thing that we will be taking it forward in the next coming few years. So, and also in terms of what we are doing, we are clocking around 70-80 CR at this moment annualized run rate. And with this funding that we are getting, we are aiming to do about 250 to 300 CR in the coming 2 to 3 years time frame. And the sky is the only limit for us when we really are focused, not too many products, but a lot of other companies, a lot of peer companies, they sell probably 100 items under the same brand name. We are the company not selling 100 items, but we sell only 1 item or 2 items max. And we really go very, very focused, and we go really deeper into the same product. So the philosophy is that we want that one product to sell. That means if the products are not selling, the products are not accepted by the market. It doesn't make any sense to further expand, taking money and further expand because the journey will invariably stop. So we don't want to go in that path and use too many items because that's a bandwidth consumption. So we would like to focus on those 4 or 5 items where we have excelled, where we put in a lot of hard work and where we put in a lot of R&D. So that is our approach for the next few years, where we will take this company with Oaks backing us very firmly. We will take this company next to 250 to 300 CR the next coming 3 years time frame. So open for questions, and then I will give it to Kenneth to introduce about Oaks and also what made him believe improved and the story that we built up so far. Any questions for me specifically, or we will have Ken talk about the rest of the things?
Hi. No, I think, like Raju said, we've now working towards this investment for the last 6 months, and I'll just take a couple of minutes to introduce what we do as a firm. We are an investment firm that looks at Indian consumer businesses, people who are selling to India. Over the last decade, we've invested in quite a few notable consumer stories. We were investors into a brand that now has become a household brand. We were the first investors into a brand called Fog, a company called Mini Cosmetics. Of course, they've gone on to great things from there, but when we first invested, they were much smaller than even where Raju is today. And was an exceptional founder, a gentleman called Raju Patel, who we partnered with. We also invested into what is now listed, but that time was private, a company that is the South and West franchisee of McDonald's India. They used to sell burgers at that point of time. All of you would be familiar with McDonald's. They are now a listed company in Indian markets. That's where we exited. But we were the first investor into that business also. What we look for all these years are basically brands that invest in building the Indian consumer story. We're great believers that India as a consumer market is only getting started. Recently, we were also first investors into a company called Hero Electric, that is the electric scooter arm of the Munjal family. So about 2 years ago, of course, this year all of you in the media would read so much about electric scooters and electric has become mainstream. But we were investors about 2 years ago in that same company. But what we've always prided ourselves on doing was on seeing whether the product itself is acceptable by consumers. Because as Raju said, if that moment of truth is not there, then whatever amount of money you pound into a business will not work for you. I see only one or two of you